don't want you to even try to think for yourself. They don't want you to even try to think for yourself.
Watching this panel with the these psychic ladies, and the only one I know is Elizabeth April, and like her panel was dope as hell. There's all these ladies, and like, and yeah, like some people are like skeptics. I get like they were doing some stuff that you would consider like awkward or weird or whatever,
They're
like
like channeling,
speaking
doing
tongues and
things.
shit like that.
Okay.
Not through the whole thing, but like they were channeling though. Like that's what it
Okay.
is. Like I don't think it's weird, but I just saying like some people would hear that and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you watching?" Or like,
Right, for sure.
but anyways, I thought it was dope as hell, and like the way they were chanting was like, uh, it wasn't necessarily a chant. It was just like they were speaking in tongues and like fucking. But I know speaking in tongues is special because you're speaking another language that's not even of this earth.
Of this earth, yeah.
It's
That's what
they
I've
say you're
heard.
speaking directly to God.
Yeah,
They say.
that's the language of
Exactly. So if you say speaking in tongues looks crazy, it does. But anyways, she's Elizabeth April was like watch. She's like because she could see light. She sees light.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of the ladies was talking about the higher dimensional beings like creating a grid because that's what they do. Like they're watchers. They watch over us. They're
Okay.
making.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like giving us all these tools that we need because
All
they're
right.
all loving. It's all like that's the light that you see when you die or whatever. It's that.
It's them. It's that.
So, but anyways, she was talking like when she was one of the last ones to speak too, but she saw like the ladies. They all had a message for everybody
Us,
that was
the
there, and
earth.
Earth, and everybody whoever like channeled into that panel or whatever,
Okay, that's cool.
or tuned into the channel. Anyways, yeah, like she's like I could see all this stuff, and the one when the lady was the third lady in, she was like, oh, she was talking about the grid, and then when it became Elizabeth April's turn, she was like, "It's funny that you mentioned the grid because I was watching that and I was wondering what it was." Like she knew what it was, but she was just like, "It's good to have validation on that."
Oh, okay. So she can see it, but she
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily. She hasn't heard anybody else speak on it or
yeah.
also acknowledge it.
And then the other girl that was next to her had red hair, and she did one of the channels too, where she was speaking in tongues, but she was clearing out a lot of energy and like clearing out a lot of fucking
karma or
just
no?
gunk and shit, stuff that you don't need.
From who?
From people that were listening, and then in the room, and just she goes around and clears like ley line nodal points of the earth.
Oh shit!
Yeah, she goes around and clears these areas.
That's cool.
That's like her sole purpose, or not just her sole purpose, but one of them. Whatever. I don't remember her name, but like when she was doing her thing, Elizabeth April's like, when you were doing your stuff, I saw a crazy light show. It was fascinating.
Weird. How do you think? For what purpose? Like, what can also use the ley lines? If she's clearing them of what? Like cleaning them from.
I feel like there's a dark hold on them, obviously, like
from this planet, right? It's
from all the negativity that we've been through and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just starting to like open up our brains or whatever. But like, yeah, like these ley lines, like they've been around forever, like they're the grid of the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the fact that they're clearing these out now, it's opening up all these new frequencies for us. That's why they call the new frequencies new earth energies. They're letting these in by opening these fucking nodal points up.
Dude.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, imagine being ancient humans who had knowledge of it and were able to tap into it, unclogged.
Right. That's what's like. I don't feel. I know there's no coincidences. That's exactly why I'm starting to like learn about Thoth or Toth or whatever you want to call him, the Egyptian god. He wasn't really Egyptian. He was Atlantean. Yeah, he was a son of Atlantean or whatever. Yeah, he was the one that built the pyramids. Read the Emerald Tablets. And it's all about that.
And he's the one who, if that's true, he's the one who restarted us, right? It wasn't basically Noah. It wasn't Noah and the ark. It was Thoth and his ship.
Yep, exactly.
And then that would make more. See, listen, this sounds less far fetched than him getting 2 of every animal and shoving them on a boat. If it was this being with a spaceship, it was probably DNA samples.
Yep.
It wasn't straight up animals.
No.
He had DNA
He had
samples.
DNA samples. Yep.
Then of course you could fit that on a ship.
And there was not everybody like got like killed or whatever. Not all animals and stuff either. There's still humans or early human or whatever. And even in one of the Emerald Tablets, I think it's the first one, he even says after that flood happened, he came back down and they were trying to like go after him and kill him, and he literally stopped them with his like wand or his staff.
The people who are
Yeah,
still
with vibration,
who are
which
still
is
alive?
technology.
The people who survived
Yeah, like the humans that survived.
Yeah.
They were like, "We're gonna kill you," and he stopped them, and he's like,
With
"Listen,"
his
like, he's
technology.
like, "I'm here to help you," and he started helping them out, started teaching them like how to meditate and how to do how to build and how to like build the pyramids and stuff.
and that's why they're all the fucking same, huh?
Yeah.
Because he literally had a hand in
And
making
all
all
his
of them.
priests finally went around the world and started building these pyramids.
Yeah.
And that was 56 or 50,000 to 36,000 years ago.
That's such crazy shit. I wonder how many times he's come back, How many times he got reincarnated as
See, what I heard is his third reincarnation was Hermes.
Hermes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was his most recent?
Most recent.
He was Hermes.
Supposedly one of his most recent, but like there's been some like documentation or like stories of like him being reborn as other, or not even just being reborn, of visiting people and like giving them these like where the Emerald Tablets are, or where to look for certain things,
Man. So speaking of that, we saw, me and my wife looked up, it was the 5 oldest pictures of Jesus that are like
Okay.
known, still around. And first off, I remember you told me that halfway through he had his image changed because of fucking one of the emperors was like, make it look like my son, right?
Yep. Caesar's son.
They vaguely mentioned that about like anything before then, all those images got destroyed.
Yep.
He ordered it like
Yep,
across
he
the
did.
fucking.
Because Jesus wasn't white, he was black or some other ethnicity. That
So yeah, the other 4 pictures he looked like, it was like curly Q dark hair.
Oh yeah.
And in one of the pictures they were depicting when he brought Lazarus back to life. It was when he performed some miracle. Okay, check it out. And in this picture they depicted him, he's holding like a wand. He's holding like a staff or a rod.
Damn.
And it's clear as day he's holding something and pointing it.
They interpret Jesus or Thoth as that, But like what I like, maybe Jesus or Yoshua or Joshua or Yoshua, I think it's what they call him now, or like they're finding out what his real name was, because Jay wasn't even around at that time. Like Jay came around in like the 3rd century or 4th century or
what, the letter J?
Yeah, the letter J wasn't even around at the time.
Okay.
Jesus or Yoshua.
Yeah, I've heard Yahweh.
Yahweh, like, see, and that's another name too that was actually interpreted as Enlil or Enki.
It's one of their freaking original names, huh?
Yeah.
Gosh, man, fuck.
And that goes back like during the Atlantean times. And see, like, remember we were talking about the time, how like, why did they go backwards when it's BC and AD?
Right, yeah.
The reason why they do that is because they're going like 36,000 years back. But when I say like 5,000 years ago, that'll be 5,000 BC.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if I say 36,000 years ago, that's 36,000
BC. Okay.
Or whatever they call it, BCE or whatever. I don't know the exact terminology of it, but yeah, that's what it is.
So when you go to the earliest years of BC, what would that number look like?
I know, right? Like a billion.
It would be like a billion
infinity.
BC.
Yeah, because like how old is the Earth? We don't fucking know for sure. We think people say it's 5,000 years old. I doubt that. It's more than that. Don't be stupid. Don't just read the Bible and say it's taking its face value. I don't want to knock on people who read the Bible. I've read the Bible, some of it. Like, there are some truths in it,
but those truths are so small and just and already twisted.
Yeah.
That nothing in there is real, man.
That's why, like, I heard another thing about when they were saying Jesus said, "Be submissive or like do what your slave owner says to you or tells you to do or something like that. I don't know if the exact words of it, but it's something along those lines. But like Jesus, like you think Jesus was like trying to stop people from owning people in slavery because he was like all about love, you know?
You'd
So
think,
why would he
right?
say obey your slave masters?
I don't know.
Why would he say that?
Not our Jesus. Shit.
No,
So already it was probably being manipulated right there,
exactly. The fact that they're like obey your slave masters is why
right?
would
What
they
the
put that in the
fuck?
Bible? That's fucking stupid. You're a slave. We're fucking slaves to that
Yep,
ideology.
yep,
You know?
yep, man. It's been really hard to figure it. Yeah, not hard. It's just nuts because I grew up in the church and
We all did. We
it's
all
all wrong. It's
If you
all
grew up in
lie.
America, you grew up in a fucking church. I don't care who you are. And if you didn't grow up in a church, you grew up around something that was like either really fucked up,
Like what?
like I don't know, like people that don't go to church are like supposedly more fucked up than people that do go to church.
Right. Supposedly,
Yeah,
but
because they don't go to church, so they do the naughty things. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. I think they all kind of do the bad things, but like there's a certain line like these people do drugs so they're considered bad so they don't go to church, but these people drink and they go to church so they're good.
Hmm. I see.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like the things that are legal are considered good, but like people who smoke weed, I know people who smoke weed and still go to church.
I wonder how they do feel about that now. Actually, that's a very
Yeah,
good
now that
question.
it's legal in
Yeah.
some states.
Like if I
Yeah,
walked into church and did the whole, hey brother, and I'm like, yeah, but also, I smoke
it's
hell.
also but it's also like gays and lesbians, like some churches accept it, some churches don't,
I do
and
see
that's
that.
hypocritical.
I do see that.
It's very hypocritical because a person's choice is a person's choice, no matter what religion or belief you have. God gave you their free will. So you should love that person for whoever they are, no matter what. Unless there's some sick fucking pedophile, you know. Still, but there's help. It's a mental issue, you know. Being a pedophile is a mental issue, no matter what. You know, it's the worst fucking thing out there. Yes, it's the most disturbing thing out there. You know, one of the most disturbing things.
I mean, it definitely is a mental issue, but to what point? Like,
Right.
what are you trying to say?
I know, like, what can you do about it? You can't really do anything about it besides like stop them, obviously. But like, can you treat that?
Right? Why isn't there a pill for that then?
Right?
There's a pill for being depressed. There's a pill for being antipsychotic.
I don't know. That's crazy. Like, what if they just like came out with a pill, like the anti-pedophilia pill?
Fuck, I don't know. The world will just blow up.
I know. Well, then they'd have to stop all this underground sex trafficking, which is a real thing too.
There's a whole nother fucking thing, right?
Yeah. How come these governments? How come there's a war on drugs? Governments try to stop drugs trafficking and shit, but they don't try to stop child trafficking as much as they should. There should be a war on that.
Why wasn't there a war on that
There
first?
should
Right?
be a war on that and a war on poverty.
It's because they don't acknowledge the other
It's
ones.
because there's no money in it too.
That's too.
And all these rich motherfuckers that do all this shit, they're the ones that are the pedophiles. Because they're the ones buying these fucking children and having sex with them and doing God knows what with them.
Yeah, when they order their pizza, right? Pizzagate.
It's a dark, dark situation.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fucking-
let's put it out there to where people actually realize this shit's real, and also like do something about it. You know, like fucking let's stop this shit.
rise up, people.
Yeah, how like open your fucking brains up. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. It's just hard to like.
It's hard to get through to people.
It is.
They don't want to believe any of this.
No, like, but I feel like putting the vibes out there and just like sending it to people, like not negatively, just like loving and understanding.
How?
Just put the vibes out there. Just like
Open
focus your
eyes.
brain, set the intention, and just like let it out there. Vibration.
Okay.
It's
Let's
like
try.
when you pray, you know, like how you just talk. It's like think about something and just like focus it on it, and then just like.
How little or how big should we start
I mean,
with our intentional
I don't know. She was talking. Elizabeth April was talking about. By the way, back to that. That's what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yes, EA.
She was talking about putting
Sports.
your vibes out there. That's where I got all this stuff from. It's not my own. I got it from her. Like she was talking about even just drinking water. You can put your vibes in water because water actually holds memory, and it actually sound travels better through water.
Yeah.
You know, and it holds a memory to it.
That's such a good idea. I never thought about that. Just like even you just drinking a cup of water, just
Yeah.
like, huh?
Crazy.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I kind of went off back there about all that stuff. But you can see how passionately I am about it, though, because I don't know, we got a sick mental problem with the whole human race. It's not just like individuals. There's a reason why we have all these mental issues. It's because the whole collective is
It's
damaged.
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's damaged. There's an imbalance.
And this this awakening, right?
This
Hopefully this
awakening,
year
yeah.
soon, starting at least
Well,
this year.
it's been starting a while, but
Yeah.
like 2024 to 2028, what they were saying on that panel
Mhm.
was like the beginning of it.
Okay.
It's just the beginning of it.
Just
People
the
are gonna start
beginning of it.
waking up more. It's gonna become more mainstream.
Okay. Let's start getting out there.
Yeah.
What a time to be freaking alive and going through it.
It's nice because not only do these psychics have the same story as these historians like Billy Carson, who's forbidden knowledge, you know,
Yeah.
he's saying the same exact thing as Elizabeth April has. And I don't know if she's ever even heard about this guy or studied.
Or even has even watched a video or two.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everything she does, she astral projects.
Mm-hmm.
She can astral project herself anywhere, anytime, any place.
And she has come to the same conclusions that this
Yeah.
man has, spent
She's
a
literally
lifetime.
seen this stuff, astral projecting, and he's verifying it through data,
Through
hard
these tablets, right? Literal hard data, yeah. That it did happen.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I saw it.
And they're aliens or higher dimensional beings, whatever you want to call them, angels.
Yeah, right.
That's what we called them back then, or
Yeah.
angels or gods,
Angels, gods, that's it. Or demons.
demons, fallen angels.
Fallen angels,
Yeah.
Just when it was really just that group of beings showing up.
Yeah.
And then
They just took over.
But then they took it into the Bible and created it as evil fell.
Yeah.
And it was never like that at all.
Right. Well, imagine though, like if we went, this actually happened to these natives to, I can't remember what islands they were, but the United States came in and relocated these people. They've never seen a fucking ship or a plane in their life.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that one dude, huh?
Yeah. And they started like after they fucking relocated this tribe or whatever, the tribe started drawing planes and like putting USA on their shirts or their
Yeah.
chest, painting it on their chest, and they worship
They
that.
worship that, yeah.
So it's the same exact situation. These higher beings have better technology, because they've been around longer than us. Like that's another thing too. They're talking about war in heaven, the wars in heaven.
Mhm.
That actually happened. Like these fucking beings went and destroyed all these planets and stuff.
They really did have,
It
yeah,
happened
like,
to the Palladians, it happened to the Lyrians.
could you imagine witnessing that?
I don't know.
They
Supposedly,
did,
we were
right?
part
They
of that.
they did look up and see laser beams and like they were fucking fighting.
See, and
duking it
that's
out.
what they're saying, because even these the Galactic Federation of Light, they're all the beings that like collectively work together now,
Yeah,
and so there's like they're kind of like the universe's government, I guess.
okay.
So they're all these species though that survived these wars and shit, but they, even the reincarnation and all that stuff, like past lives, like we were part of this war.
What?
And like that's what they say, like
Yeah.
like all these souls are reincarnated souls. We're all like some of us chose to be here, some of us did like just reincarnated here or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's all about that.
Fuck.
I feel like we're trying to like come to a conclusion about something with that, because it's like maybe we're supposed to ascend, become better people, become better creatures.
That's such a crazy idea. Become better, a whole better creature.
Yeah, better than like not just like better, but like as like we're better than you type of thing, but like better overall as like we don't die and like we don't fucking age, or we don't have like we're humble in our ways, but we also know how to handle ourselves, you know, and like just overall just goodness of like being like as we imagine God is.
Can you imagine that?
Maybe that's the goal. Maybe that's why we have that mindset of like a perfect being. Maybe that's what we're supposed to become.
Ooh, right? That whole manifest destiny too.
Yeah.
That would ultimately end up being the.
Maybe that's what the idea of every being and every, you know, come together and unite as like a universe. It's like, and then we can make the whole universe just like amazing and a utopia for every being to live. I don't know.
What if that's what makes God? In the end, all of us coming together to achieve that ends up giving God consciousness, and that has happened in the future, but it hasn't happened here yet. But
yeah,
but we make it happen, so it has happened already, you know.
And now that we're talking about it, it's like happening.
Could you imagine?
I believe that stuff. We're setting our intentions, you know, like that's what it's all about. That's another thing too, like contracts, man.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because like apparently there's contracts throughout the galaxy. Like that's why our planet was under contract, and now the contract is up.
Who establishes this contract and when?
Exactly, a long time ago, and like I feel like they just kind of took over because they were like the first ones here, type of thing.
Right.
was.
It wasn't a like two people stood there and shook hands and said deal.
Right. Like maybe they were just the first beings, and because they have a hold of it, the Galactic Federation couldn't really stop them from doing what they did and what they are doing, influencing human beings to be negative because they know what we could possibly become, and they're like the dark side of life, maybe.
I can see.
But like we're not gonna like we can't just like throw them aside and kill them. Like how same thing with the pedophile shit. I know that's fucking. It kind of comes full circle now. We can't just kill these people. Can't just put them in jail, but we can stop them from doing sick shit.
We can stop them.
Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's what they're scared of. They're scared that we're gonna fucking throw them in jail or kill them, and that's rightfully so. You know, they're fucked up in the head. I'm not saying they're right. They're not right. Of course, they're not right. Fuck that. I'm not condoning that shit. I'm just saying we need to stop that shit from happening.
And there's got to be a better way.
We'll come to that in due time.
Due time.
Thanks for tuning in.